That's Nick.
And that's Joseph. And today we're here to talk about Thelma, the directorial debut of Josh Margolin, which will have its premiere at the 2024 Sundance Film Festival, January 18th, 2024, in the Premieres program. It is not to be confused with the 2017 lesbian supernatural thriller Thelma by Joachim Trier.
What is this movie about? When a 93-year-old Thelma Post gets duped by a phone scammer pretending to be her grandson, she sets out on a treacherous quest across the city to reclaim what was taken from her. What's your pull quote?
Effortlessly sweet as it is thoughtful, Thelma gives June Squibb her time to shine on center stage in this mirthful, exuberant adventure.
Mine. Heartwarming and oozing with charm, Thelma is a triumph. I really enjoyed this movie.
Yeah, I did too.
The story. So it's funny because I had said I thought this could be the prequel to The Beekeeper, because Thelma is this 93-year-old woman who lives alone, although she's at that transition when maybe she needs some assistance. And we see that her grandson, Alan...
Danny.
His name's Danny? Mm-hmm. Why do I keep thinking Alan?
I don't know.
Who plays Danny?
Fred Hechinger.
Danny is very close with his grandmother, keeps dibs on her. And one day, she gets a phone call from who she thinks is Danny. And it's easy to kind of mistake because she wears hearing aids that are connected to her cell phone. But she gets this frantic call from Danny saying, like, I got into an accident, I'm in jail, I need money, someone's going to call you, you need to send them the money. She says, okay, the phone call comes, and the person says, $10,000 in cash, and you need to mail it to this address. And she does. But in the interim, it's like an hour, it would seem, not much time has passed, and she tries to call her daughter, played by Parker Posey, who's Danny's mother. But Parker Posey doesn't pick up. She tries to call her husband, played by
Gregg.
He doesn't pick up. Of course, Danny doesn't pick up because he's asleep at 10 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. So Grandma's able to send this cash. But then, of course, when everyone convenes, they realize she was scammed. So there's a little bit of talk of what do we do with Grandma? Because she seems to not be making the best choices. She decides to handle this on her own. And she makes her way to the P.O. box where she sent the money. And she sees the kid who she believes was pretending to be her grandson. And she follows him. This journey she takes, which we can get into, she's accompanied by an old friend played by Richard Roundtree.
Oh, rest in peace. Yeah.
And they confront the mastermind behind this scammer operation, who is played by...
Malcolm McDowell.
Who played a bad guy in a movie we reviewed with Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin.
Yes. He plays in Alice Creed recently. He's played a lot of villains. But
she gets her money back the end. Yeah, I just thought the four main characters were so good. Mm-hmm. The grandma, you just want to hug her. And I thought the grandson was so sweet.
They have a very nice relationship because, there's lots of talk about the awareness that, she's in her 90s, she might not have that much longer, and they want to make the best decisions for her. And at the same time, as she explains to Richard Roundtree, she got married, she lived with her parents till she was 23, then she got married, and her husband's only been 2 years, so she's really had no alone time, and she's enjoying it.
But she does say that because she's kind of alone. She's enjoying her alone time, but she also feels alone because we get a scene where she calls because she wants to get help, try to get her money back, but she wants to do it on her own. So she's calling all of her old friends, and I thought it was a really sweet scene and humorous because many of them are dead or sick or in assisted living. So she's coming to the realization that she's getting close to that. But she settles on visiting Richard Roundtree at his nursing home. Mm-hmm. And she sees he has a really nice electric scooter. And she steals it.
Yes.
And there's a little chase sequence, which I thought was really cute. Mm-hmm. He ultimately catches her, but she convinces him to come with her on this trek. And they appear to live in the valley. Mm-hmm. So the trip is, only miles, but on this electric scooter, they make the trip.
And they have to be back in time at the nursing home that evening because Ben Roundtree is playing Daddy Warbucks in the nursing home production of Annie.
Which is really funny because when he's rehearsing, the person playing Annie, this young girl, is of course this old woman living in the nursing home.
And she's like Latina because she's got an accent that also makes it even more delicious.
And because she can't remember the lines. I thought that was super cute. Then Richard Roundtree's roommate in the nursing home, they call him Starey Gary because all he does is he's sort of catatonic, but he seems quite aware. Because we get a few moments with him where characters ask him where's this, where's that? And he's able to point. And so I thought that was a really fun character. When Thelma sees Richard's scooter, the way she's eyeballing it, like she knows she's going to take it. And then she's in the room with Richard Roundtree and Starey Gary, but she's trying to be discreet as to what her plan is. So she connects Richard's hearing aids to his cell phone. So then she's kind of talking into her phone or his phone like a microphone. I thought that was really
very cute. They're whispering to each other. And then they use that later on when she has to confront Malcolm McDowell on her own.
Yes. But so before they get to Malcolm McDowell, so she's thinking, what am I going to do? Well, I need to be prepared, so I need a gun. So she remembers that they have a friend named Mona. So they go to Mona's house to get this gun. And Mona is also this very old woman who lives alone, probably shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And while Richard Roundtree distracts her, which is not difficult, Thelma goes upstairs and finds the gun. And the sequence where Thelma's trying to get the gun, she has to climb up, onto the bed, up to this, locked box. And she successfully grabs the gun. And as she's holding it, she sees a cockroach go across the floor. And I think that cockroach is significant. But she sees the cockroach go across the floor. She gets startled. So she drops the gun and the gun goes off. So we see a bullet go through the floor.
But those two don't hear it.
No, because Richard is half deaf and Mona is out of it.
But yeah, Mona, it makes it clear that she may not be all with it, but she's been trying to kill the cockroaches and basically says she can't keep up with killing them anymore. Poor thing.
I also thought it was cute that Mona's done up. She has full makeup on, a cute little outfit.
Just watching some hummingbirds on TV.
Watching hummingbirds on TV, and then when she realizes she has visitors, she's like, oh, I wish you would have told me. I would have put on shoes.
And she's got 4 remotes.
But she knows how to use them.
Yeah, she does.
So Thelma and Richard Roundtree's character, the scooter needs to be charged. So they go to a gas station. And a few things happen there because we can see that Thelma, she got into this mess kind of because she's on the computer, on the internet, doesn't really know what she's doing. She has a smartphone. She appears to be on Instagram and she wants to reply to things, but she doesn't know how. So she'll accidentally take a selfie and send it. But that helps her because while her family is freaking out looking for her, she accidentally posts a picture of the gas station she's in. And that's how the family members are able to track her down. But she's also forced to wear one of those life alert, Apple Watches type things. And she realizes that her family has found her. So she kind of throws the watch. I thought it was funny because the opening of the film, we see that Thelma's watching Mission Impossible. She's watching Tom Cruise run. And then we see her open up a magazine.
A newspaper.
And she sees an article about Tom Cruise. I was surprised they got the rights to use Tom Cruise's likeness because he's in it twice or 3 times.
Well, the newspaper should be public domain, I think.
Maybe. I mean, I hope. This is also a festival screening, so who knows? They might have to change it. But I think it's symbolic of her feeling like she can go on this mission to get her money back. But her and Richard kind of come to a head when he realizes that she doesn't know what she's doing.
They get lost, and the scooter gets obliterated.
So he's mad, and he leaves her. So then she's walking across a big empty field and falls and hurts herself.
Can't get up.
And we're like, oh no, what is she going to do? Because at a point, she takes out her hearing aids like she's just going to give up and die. Like the mom in Land Before Time. But then Richard shows up and helps her out. And then they make their way to the P.O. box. And they see that silly little boy. And I thought that scene was really good. Because it's what I really liked about this movie is that the stakes aren't so high. Thelma losing this $10,000 is not going to destroy her. It doesn't appear that she's going to lose her home or...
No, but I think that she's bristling against, this was evidence that she shouldn't be living alone,
Yes.
like she can't take care of herself. And several times she makes it clear that she doesn't need anybody else and she's just fine on her own if she wants to be.
Yes. But I also like that when they do get to Malcolm McDowell's little operation, which is like a lamp store.
Yeah.
And he explains himself like my store's not doing well. I need money, so this is what I've been doing. I've been scamming other elderly people.
And he's on oxygen tanks.
Oh, that scene's so good because she pretends. So at first she comes in pretty strong. Like, I know what you're doing. It's wrong. Give me back my money. And it appears like they're not going to help her when...
And McDowell knocks the phone out of her hands when she tries to call the police. And he grabs her hard, so she,
as the audience, we're like, oh no. And then she, so we think, is having an episode where she says, oh, I don't know where I am. I'm so sorry. Can I sit down? So then of course I was like, no. She was so close. But then we realized she was faking it so that she could sit at the computer. And she holds Malcolm McDowell at gunpoint because the kid had already run out of the store and Richard Roundtree knocked him out. So she's holding Malcolm McDowell at gunpoint on his computer, logging into his banking information.
but she doesn't know how to use it, so she has to call Danny and says secretly, come on your own, get away from your parents at the nursing home and come here to meet me. And then he's explaining to her how to X out all the ads.
Oh, I was so satisfied as she was figuring it out. And then she does something really sweet because he stole $10,000 from her. But then he's also telling her, I don't have any money and I need it. So then she decides to leave him $500, which she never even mentions to him.
She doesn't, yeah.
But I thought that was really sweet. But before she actually hits the transfer button, the kid comes back. And then it would seem like, uh-oh. But then Thelma says, you know this is wrong. And I don't know your grandma, but if she were here, I'm sure she would tell you what I'm going to tell you, which is like, you should do better than this. And also, while you were gone, Malcolm called you an idiot. So you should be mad at him. So the kid gets mad and walks out, which gives her the freedom to then hit transfer. And then at that time, Danny shows up, picks them up. It was just all very satisfying.
Yes, and a really good ensemble. You know, I love Parker Posey, and I think that she makes the most with what could have been a nothing role, because she adds a lot of character ticks to it, because they're this family that's, you know, clearly very high functioning, but they don't quite realize how they've kind of handicapped their kid maybe a little bit, because he has an outburst at the gas station saying, like, I lost grandma and I'm not good at anything, and
maybe I'm a stupid little bitch. Like, he's becoming hysterical.
yeah, and you can see where he gets it from. But I liked all of them. Nicole Byer works at a nursing home, and I think she has a couple nice little bright moments, as she usually does.
I agree. Getting back to the cockroach. So the final scene, now that Thelma has her money back and she's safe at home, and we see her sitting in her living room, and a cockroach comes by and she kills it. And I thought that was symbolic of, like, she's not ready to be hauled off yet.
Yeah.
She can do better than Mona was doing.
She can still take care of business.
Yeah.
I find it interesting that there's several films in recent memory that have this
theme of
this storyline. The Bulgarian Oscar submission this year from that country, Blaga's Lesson. This is the same storyline as that film.
Oh.
So I find that interesting across cultures, that this is still a very problematic issue for elders.
I really, really enjoyed the actress playing Thelma.
June Squibb. So I think I can't believe, you know, she started acting in the 90s. This is the first time she's got a lead performance. She's Oscar nominated for Nebraska. Alexander Payne clearly likes her. She's in About Schmidt. We've reviewed her in several things, including Blow the Man Down, Palm Springs, and The Humans.
Oh.
Which I remember we liked The Humans.
Okay.
Particularly. Yeah.
I also really liked the actor playing Danny, who I didn't recognize from several things.
The Pale Blue Eye.
With White Lotus.
White Lotus, the first season. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, and Parker Posey is going to be in season 3 of that, so that's exciting.
Fun.
Mm-hmm.
What would you give Thelma?
I would give it 4.
I thought it was excellent. I think you could watch this with anyone. This is a great pick for any time. I think I could see myself sitting with my mom, my sister, her husband. Like, I could see everyone enjoying this movie.
Oh, we didn't even talk about Soup Plantation.
Well, let me give my score. I would give it 4 out of 5. Well, what about Soup Plantation?
Because there's an episode where they relate that they lost her at the Soup Plantation when the nursing home employees are questioning her, but I didn't realize that that's no longer a thing.
Well, like, is Soup Plantation gone forever?
I don't know.
The one that we used to go to is gone.
But Danny was like, I can't believe that there was a place called Soup Plantation.
Oh.
And then when you think about it, yeah, why? Was that the name?
All done?
Yeah.
Join us on Patreon and listen to our podcast. Bye.